think, is our paper and
Yes.
something to draw, objects to draw.
Yeah, a few items to draw, ideally at least one with some texture if you haven't already got those. So, did you hear that, Edna?
Sorry, no, I missed it.
That's okay. If you want to collect, you need your paper and drawing things, maybe some colours if you want, and a few items to draw, ideally at least one with some texture, and that's all you need.
Okay.
So I'll start in 30 seconds. This is a good number of people. Oh, you've moved over there, Charlotte. Oh, so fun. Anyway, there's a chat. Okay. Okay. I'm going to start then. Okay. My name's that's the same person. My name's Jamila, and I'm an artist, and I live in Shrewsbury. Most of my work is digital montages, illustrations, and photography. And I've been doing community art for about 13 years, I think, for galleries and museums and the NHS and things like that. So I love collaborating with other people. I love working with new people. I get to learn something from you, and hopefully you learn something from me. But this session is about experimentation, and we're going to take a really classic theme of still life, and we're going to probably learn things about ourselves, ways that we've never worked before. So I want you to be really kind to yourself, just enjoy the process, and if you want to dip in and out of the session, that's absolutely fine, because an hour and a half is quite a long time. So I won't be offended if you toodle off for a snack and stuff, and if you need to move, because sitting still for a long time is it can be a bit awkward. So it's really important that you are comfortable, so you enjoy yourself, that if you need a drink, or you're not too hot, you're not too cold. Okay, so first of all, we're going to start off with just a little shake of our wrists, because we're going to be and wiggling of our fingers. Oh, this is so fun watching them all wiggle. This is so cool. Yes, and our shoulders, we're going to roll those back as well, and we're going to roll our shoulders and our elbows as well, because it is so I say this at every workshop, because it is so tempting to just draw like this and be all tight, and let's just use as much of our body as we can, and then our movements will be a lot more flowy. We can hold our drawing utensils at the end, we can hold them quite near the top. Be experimental. Oh, that was noisy. Be experimental. So hopefully you're all warmed up. Oh, and a little neck move as well. We'll be very gentle with the neck. Lovely. Okay, so we're all sorted. Okay, now if you were going to do some exercise, if you so wish, I forgot the code to my phone for my notes. I've got it, I remember. I'm not going to tell you though, it's mine. If we're going to, all my notes are in here. I'm very prepared, if you were going to do some exercise, you'd warm up, otherwise your muscles would get tense apparently. So we're going to do a fun warm-up activity. Oh, it's so fun. With this object here. And I am going, and I'd like you to draw it for a few minutes. Oh, there's a lot of nonsense on my table. Push it off, it's fine, it's fine. I'm a rebel, I'll push it off the table. So you can see it here. Oh, it's a bit bright. Maybe not. So you're going to draw this, but we're only going to use a continuous line. So you can't take your pen off the paper. You can go back on lines. You can draw over the same thing more than once. So whatever pen or pencil or crayon you use now, you'll be using that for this whole activity. Oh, what question did you have?
Would you mind putting it in the middle of the screen, because all the other people are on the right, so otherwise, yeah, that's how I can see it. Yeah, great.
Excellent, good. Oh, people are talking to me. An hour and a half's a long time to talk to myself. I'm not that interesting. Okay, so we're going to do a continuous line drawing of this carousel, and we're going to do it for a few minutes. So pick your weapon of choice. I normally would use a Sharpie, but they bleed a bit, so I'm going to use this one, and hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing too, but it's not that relevant. So we're going to do this for a few minutes, but what I'm going to do as well is give you the challenge of drawing with just one utensil and it being a continuous line drawing. And I'd like you to address line and texture and shadow as well if you can. It's going to be moving and it's going to have a really demonic music coming out as well. It's quite slow though, so I'm going to wind it up. This will get us properly warmed up. We are going to be doing something that maybe you haven't done very often or ever at all, and we're just going to enjoy it. So don't get too hung up on the outcome. Enjoy the process and really look as well. More looking than drawing, please.
We've just had one more person join us, Jamila,
Okay.
I think.
Well, we'll start and then I'll explain to CJ Jones, okay?
Marvellous.
Okay.
And another person as well.
Oh, this is so fun. I'm so popular. Or Arts Connection are popular.
We're
No,
all popular.
No, it's just me. No,
All
it's,
right then.
it's you guys as well.
I'll just go and mute myself.
Okay, so start if you haven't already. Okay, can you see mine? I think I'm going to start with this top bit here and hopefully fit it all in this one. How demonic is that music? What did I do? If your arm gets tired, I will allow you to take your pen off the paper, but then you have to put it back at the last spot. I'm very dictatorial. Oh, this is much easier with a pen. Llun is the new person with us.
Yes, I think so. If you just
Okay.
want to, so just for the people who've joined us recently, we're doing a continuous line drawing of the merry-go-round on Jamila's screen there. So I think pen is not to come off the paper. Is that the idea, Jamila?
Yes, but if your arm needs a little break, you can take it off for a bit, but you have to put it back at the last spot because I'm very adamant that that is a relevant part of it. I can't remember where mine came off. Oh, there. I know. And if you can do some shading, that would be great. So you could keep your lines closer together for shadow and more separate for shading. Or you could do some cross-hatching or zigzagging. I'm concentrating on the top bit because I think the horses are going to be harder. I'm doing quite curved shading on the balls, of these pink balls here, to try and like emulate the shape of it. Ah, it's stopped now, but I'm going to carry it. I'm going to let it. You can draw it now still, which is probably a bit easier. Oh, my arm needs a break. So this is what I've got so far. I tried to follow the curve of the balls and with my shading, and I'm trying to keep as much detail as possible and go as neatly over lines so it doesn't look too messy. Not that I mind really. And there's a bit of shadow that I can see inside. So I'm gonna start again. I'm gonna start with that in this lip here. We're gonna do this for about 5 minutes. So we've got another minute really. But if you'd like a little bit longer, we can do that. It's up to you guys. You would like a bit longer? Okay, cool. We'll do a bit longer. Yay, people are talking to me. So fun. Okay. 100s of years ago, horses were like really controversial to draw, and people didn't fully understand the anatomy of them, so they often had really big bodies and really thin legs. So, and I think they're still notoriously really hard to draw. So don't worry if yours looks like a different type of animal. This is just a warm-up to get us going. Also, it's your interpretation of it, so it can't be wrong. Oh, I took my pen off. I'm sorry, I confessed. Okay, so I'll just give this 1 more minute. And I've got a picture of it, this item, so I can send it to you if you want to finish yours off. I can send it via the chat. Yeah, we'll just do 1 more minute. I can hear drawing noises, it's really cute. Ah, I took my pen off. I'm so sorry. Okay. Thank you very much for taking part. I hope you feel thoroughly warmed up. Just going to move this out the way, and I'm going to send you the picture now, so that I don't forget. Why are you being so slow? Oh, that's why. Okay. Still live. Oh. Okay. Okay. There it is. I think I've accidentally sent Russian dolls as well, but you know, that's fine. Okay, great. Brilliant. So if you want to finish off your drawing, then you've got a picture of it as a reference. And if you didn't get it from the chat, we can send it to you after the session. So if you are happy to, only if you feel comfortable to, please show me what you've created so far. Okay, this is mine. Oh, wow. Oh, I love that one. Oh, I'm pointing, you don't know which one. That's so good. Sean Owen, could you move yours back a little bit? It's a bit blurry. Or maybe it's your, yes, lovely. Oh, wow. These are amazing. Henry, excellent. Horses are difficult. I gave you a really mean one. Thank you so much. They're all so different. And it was mean of me to let it move. I acknowledge that. I do, I really do. Okay, great. Yes, we're ready. We're warmed up. You know, we're cool. Okay, so what are we doing next? I can't remember. I made this plan a few weeks ago. Oh, okay, yes. So the item that you have with texture, you need to put that in front of you. So I have this. I have this felt bird that I'm going to draw. So if you don't have an item, you can draw mine. So you might not be able to see the texture quite as well. Also, can you see that? No, that's too low. A book. Yeah, probably not. Another book. Another book. Still too low. Ah, there we go. Okay, that's cute. In the middle? Perfect. Okay, maybe you want the face then. More? Excellent. Okay, great. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a new piece of paper, or the other side of the paper that you've already got, and we are going to very roughly divide it into 4 equal pieces. So I'm going to take mine off and fold it in half first, and then fold it in half again to make quarters. Okay, so I can very roughly see the quarters, and what I think I want to do is tape that on actually, because mine's upright. So I'll be back in 2 seconds. How professional of me to abandon you. So yeah, so while I'm doing that, you fold yours into quarters. Back, I got some masking tape. So I don't want it to fall, I don't want my piece of paper to fall off the easel. So each quarter we're going to do a different style drawing of the same item. So this, because I prattle on a lot about more looking than drawing, and sometimes at art college, possibly more if you I don't know if they do it anymore, but they used to do a foundation course where you like did really in-depth study of each form of art, and then you picked your major. So what they would sometimes do is spend the whole day drawing the same item, or you would draw the same item for a month, and it's all about teaching you to really look at things and not make assumptions, because you know, you might think, oh, I know what my view looks like, I can draw it from my imagination, but there's probably loads of things that you're missing, or you don't realise connect to each other, or you didn't realise there was a slight shadow, or there's a bit of texture. So this exercise is going to get us to really know our textured item. And I picked a textured item because it will just make it a little bit more interesting, and we can experiment with different tones. So in your first quarter, whichever one you like, I'm going to go for top left. We are going to do, what did I say? Ooh, pointillism. So I'm going to send you, I'm going to have to move this now, sorry. I'm going to send you a picture of some pointillism. I'm going to send you 2 actually. I'm going to send you a George, maybe I'm not, because it's only letting me pick 1. I'm going to send you 1 at the moment. One by George Seurat, and another one by an artist that I found on Pinterest. So, and if you can't see that, that's okay, because I'm going to show it you on my iPad.
Denise, did you have a question? Did you have a hand up there?
Oh, I didn't see that. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I didn't get the image of the little toy, last image, and I doubt that you've got my email address. I don't know. It hasn't come through.
Oh, okay. Well, we can, if you email llonydd at the end, then we can send you that.
I emailed, I put my email address on the
Can you see
registration.
Oh, that's it. Can you see the chat on your screen, Denise? On the bottom. Are you on an iPad or a...
I'm on a little
tablet, Jobby?
Tablet, yeah.
If you tap the screen, that might bring the chat on the bottom up for you. And then if you click on that, you can ask a question and you can pop your email address in there.
Okay, so there's a bit of pointillism. So that was, oh. So if you can't see the chat files, that's fine. What's your question? Unmute her, Sinead, unmute her.
Where are we? We've got so many participants.
Yeah, somehow I can only see the four in the gallery thing, but I can't. I lost the whole big screen. I don't know what I've done.
Oh, if you go to the top of the screen where I am, there's 3 dots, and you can.
Yeah, that has all disappeared. You see, and it does say post attendee Zoom. So maybe I've got to join out and go out and come in again or something.
Ooh, I don't know.
Are you on a computer?
Yeah.
If you press escape, you might have gone into full screen mode or something like that. If you press escape, that should take you back and you should have the options then to press on. I'm hoping.
Sorry to bother you.
That's
no, it's not working. I'll just sign out. I'll go away and come back again or something.
If you like, if that works, absolutely.
Yeah, I think so,
yeah.
Because, yeah, okay.
Okay,
Oh, you're still
so
here.
I'm showing you 2, well, the other one hasn't downloaded, but that is pointillism, and that is a technique which people usually use paint, but you can use any medium to create shading and images using lots and lots and lots of dots. So you definitely don't want to be doing continuous lines there, because you're going to be moving your hand quite a lot. And the closer you put your dots together, you'll get some darker patches and shading, and then the further away you are, you can do your highlights and your mid-tones. So you can use any materials you like for this, and we're going to spend 5 minutes on each quarter of our still life. So I'm going to aim to keep this in one position for those who are drawing my little feathered friend, and we're going to do 5 minutes on each, and this first one is pointillism. So I think George Seurat is one of the most famous pointillist artists that use this technique. So you can mix lots of colours together and create different shading. So say if you were doing some blues, you might want to put a few dots of purple in there to make the colours a little bit richer. But this is just about experimenting and really, really, really getting to know this item. So by the 4th time we've drawn it, you'll really know it and hopefully not be sick of it, because we're going to do different styles for each one. Okay, I'm going to draw this from the back, so I'm very interested to see what it looks like. Okay, so no straight lines, only dots. You can do big dots, you can do big spots and dots. You can vary the sizes, you can vary the distances between your spots, but no lines. Okay, what are we going to do then? I might go with and you don't have to go with the colours that it looks like either. You can use whatever you like. Okay, so we'll go for 5 minutes. I'm going to set an alarm because yeah. Go. Pointillism. Oh, it's hard from this angle, but I want to draw it from this angle. I generally find I start with the outline, but you can do however you want to, and then I fill it in afterwards. So it's up to you, however you want to work. And perspective is a lot. You have to do a lot more thinking about perspective when you use techniques that are so abstract like this. But it's fun. I tell you, it's fun. You're having fun. And try and do some planning with your drawing so that you can get the whole item in your quarter. Experiment with your drawing implement. If I tilt my Sharpie to the left, my spots are a little bit bigger, only slightly. I think I'm going to mainly keep my dots the same and then sort of experiment with distances instead. Three more minutes, everyone. I think this technique really forces you to be really considered about every mark you make. I think mine is quite unrecognisable what it is. So use lighter colours for your highlights, so the brightest parts of your pictures, and for your mid-tones use different tones, and then for your shadows you want to use darker colours. Or if you're using pencil you might want to use more of the Bs. The Bs tend to be the darkest and they tend to be a bit softer as well. So if you want to, you could even smudge it maybe later. That is a shadow. Why have I put a light tone there?
Are you allowed to use colours?
Yeah, definitely. Just dots. I'm not being as mean this time. That's a very good question, Henry. Don't forget to give your arm a little wiggle as well, because this can be quite taxing on the old wrist, and we don't want repetitive strain, you know, from art. And it also helps you to stop and have a look at your drawing, see which bits you're happiest with. Oh my God, that 5 minutes went really quick. Okay, we've stopped there. I want to carry on though. No, we're moving on. We're moving on. I'm ruthless. Okay. So because I love to harp on about looking more than drawing, not making assumptions, really getting to know your item, we're going to spend a few seconds looking at our item, really assessing it, really looking at it. You know, is that really is this bit here, is that really black, or is there bits of purple in it? Really making some proper evaluations of our item, because the next quarter we're going to draw our item with our eyes closed, because it's good. It's a good way of really thinking about what we saw. And this one's quite a difficult one if you take your pen off the paper, because it's very hard to remember where you put it, but it's just a really nice way of experimenting and really thinking about yourself and the paper and your connection, and you'll really notice all the sounds that the paper makes with your drawing implement, and you probably notice you're breathing a little bit more. So it's a nice option to be mindful by taking away one of your senses, which is quite a key one in art. So I'm just going to give you a few more seconds to really focus on your item, and if you don't cheat, but because it's only going to be a few minutes. Okay, so take as long as you need to look, and we'll only spend a few minutes on this. We'll probably spend about 3 minutes instead. So I'm going to set a new alarm. Yeah, we'll spend 3 minutes on this. Okay, so take as long as you like to have a look at it, really breathe it in, and then draw it with your eyes closed. Okay, I'm going to close my eyes now. I'm going to draw it from the front, actually. Okay. And if you finish before the alarm goes off, you could just sit quietly and listen to your surroundings, or you could do another drawing, another blind drawing. Okay, you've had 3 minutes, thank you. Oh, actually, I'm actually quite pleased with mine. I don't know if you can see it, there it is. I put the eye right by the beak, and I couldn't remember what the feet looked like, so I made them up. But I'm quite pleased with the shape of the body, considering there's a little bit of foreshortening going on there. Yeah. Oh, that is so cute. You were blind, were you? That's brilliant. Oh, fantastic. I hope that was enjoyable. The first couple of times I did that, I felt really out of control. So I appreciate you taking part in that. These are so good. I think it works really well with those thick pens. Yeah, really nice. Very good, Henry. Were your eyes, did you have just one eye open? Yeah. No, I believe you. Okay, great. Okay, so we've done 2 quarters. We are on our 3rd quarter. And it's shading and tone, so no harsh lines. We're going to be just using, can you see it from here? That's my favourite tone. It's the favourite thing I say all the time. Well, I use a B pencil, so you might be able to see that a little bit. No,
you might need to tilt your sketch pad just a little bit more towards the screen, Jamila.
Oh, that's the last prong it's on. That one. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll draw from here. I'll have to doodle over here then. Okay, let's have, there's a B. There's a B. Okay, so instead of any like harsh lines like this, none of these, what we're going to do is we're going to use the side of our pencils, if you've got using pencils or pastels, and we're going to create shape and shading just using tone instead. So
you've gone off the side of the screen there, Jamila, sorry.
Where are we?
Oh, I
There.
can see your pencil. I can see your pencil.
So there,
Perfect.
you're going to use shading, and if you want it to look darker, you press a bit harder onto the paper. Try and match the shape of your item. So my item's got a lot of curves, so I'll be using the pencil like that. Okay, so no harsh lines like these ones here. You can see that. We're going to be using tone and shading, so it's really about looking where the highlights are. So on the light from the windows coming in on the top of my item's head here, and then underneath the wings there's quite a lot of shadow. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on, because often when we draw, people draw like the outline of things, and if you look at anything in real life, nothing has an outline on it, and that's fine because that's very illustrative. And I think a lot of the times it's really good to learn traditional art techniques, and then if you want to carry on using them. Otherwise, I think it's nice to know the rules and then break the rules when you want to, because like a lot of people think that, you know, Tracy Emin, who most famously did the Unmade Bed, that she's not a real artist because she doesn't do stuff on paper and it's not pen, but she's like a really good inverted commas, what's good, drafts person. She's a really good drawer because she did all the traditional stuff, and then she, you know, didn't need it for how she wanted to express herself. So I think it's nice to experiment with these things. Then you think, I'm not interested in it, I want to do it anymore, or you can dip in and out of it. So I think a lot of things are about practice. So the more we look at this same item again, the more we'll learn about it. So we'll have another 5 minutes just focusing on tone, shading, and really look where the light is hitting your item. I find it easier to start with the lightest colour, the lightest shading, and then I build upon it, because if you go too heavy on your shadows, it's harder to put it back. Or you could even use a rubber if you're using pencil, and you can put in your highlights using the rubber as a drawing implement. But I'm giving you too much information and I'm talking too much, so let's just get on with it. Okay, 5 minutes. Shading tone. Okay, that would take us to 11:45. And if you want longer, we can always do a bit longer. Okay, I've just scrolled all over my quarter now. You can work in layers, you can build up and come away from your picture, have a look at it from different angles, because it's really easy to just get engrossed, and looking at your item and your drawing repeatedly will help you probably be more happy with the results. And we're lucky actually, because it's quite, well, we're lucky in Shrewsbury because it's quite a bright day, so the sun isn't going over the clouds, because that's what I find if you draw outside, that the light's always changing and you have to make a commitment to what lighting you're gonna go with, because it can really alter what you're doing. So if you want to do some life drawing at home and you want to keep all the conditions the same, you could use a lamp instead. And then you'll get like quite a, those are called tungsten lights, and you get quite a yellowiness or sometimes a bit of a bluey tinge, which can look quite sort of alien-y maybe sometimes. Depends what you're drawing. Or you can get daylight lamps as well. Okay. Cool. Just checking on my daughter. Ooh, 3 minutes left. If you want a bit longer, that's absolutely fine. Is it 3 minutes left? Yeah, it is. Yeah, I can count. Okay, 1 minute. Does anyone want any longer than another minute? No, okay, cool. I have not planned very well. I do not have enough room for the feet. Do I? Maybe. Definitely wrecked that angle there, but yeah. I'm going to tell you it's about the process. So I'm going to tell that to myself as well. Okay. So about 30 seconds left. Oh, I'm going to do this later. I'm angry with this one. Yay, okay. Did I stop that? Yes, I did. Okay, great. So before we get completely, utterly sick of our one item that we've been drawing for the last 15 minutes, we're going to do the last quarter, which is, oh, a style of your choice. So you could do more, you could do pointillism again if you enjoyed that. You could do some more eyes shut drawing. You could do continuous line drawing, whatever you want, or you could just go for sort of straight representation. See, I'm quite nice, really, aren't I? I'm quite nice. Okay, so 5 minutes. Any colour, any, go wild. It's freestyle. I'm laughing. Okay, 5 minutes. Or you could carry on working into something you've already started. So completely up to you. I think I'm going to go for quite an illustrative black ball pen sort of thing going on. Okay, remember, more looking than drawing. Especially now, because we think we know this item. And there's probably still more to learn from it. Okay, 1 more minute. And if you can, put a bit of shadow on the table on the ground so your item doesn't look like it's floating, unless there is no shadow. It's unlikely there's no shadow, but there might be. Oh, I sound like psychic with the timer. Yes, that was 5 minutes. I don't know, for me, it's gone really, really quickly. Thank you. Okay, what are we doing now then? I assume we need a new piece of paper. That's what I'm going to assume. And I'm using white, but don't always feel like you have to use white paper. Sometimes that can be a bit stark and daunting, and it's absolutely fine to start a picture with any colour paper. It's very traditional to use white. Although some whites aren't usually completely white. I think this one's a bit blue. Okay, what does it say? Ymunwch. Oh, okay, yes. So the objects that we found earlier, we're going to set those up in any position you like. So I've got this Portuguese cockerel. Yeah, it's quite infamous in Portugal. And I've got my bird still, so you can, and when you're setting up a still life for yourself, or when I've got this sort of, what do I call, like a drawing model, when you're setting up a still life for yourself, traditionally people use odd numbers, because symmetrical can be a bit sort of conformy, and they use an odd number of items, and they usually layer them up so they don't have them usually like in a line, just to create some depth, create some shadow, to create some interest. And what we're going to focus on is negative shapes, so the spaces in between your item, so like between the legs here, between the rod, the shapes. I'm gonna, oh, that does not work, did not like that. The shapes between the arms, that sort of thing. We're going to be focusing on the negative shapes. So have a few seconds to decide how you want your items to look. Okay. So the important things to do, oh yeah, and you might want to create a focal point, like the thing that you're most interested in. I'm going to move these around a bit more. I don't know if I like that one actually. I might trade it. I've traded it for the what's this called again? The carousel thing. Yeah, there's more negative shapes there as well. Yeah, so we're going to do overlapping. And you can either, you don't have to draw the whole thing. Sometimes, you know, when you see artists making sort of like a rectangle with their fingers. They're sort of framing it to the most interesting bits. So if you haven't got any items, you're more than welcome to use my setup here, and I will just sort of move to the side. So what we're going to do now is we're going to spend a few minutes using any materials you like, focusing on the negative shape. So we're going to end up with quite an abstract piece that might not even look like very much like your setup. And I'd like you to oh yeah, I'm going to send you a picture. I knew there was something. So I'll give you an example of that. Ah yeah, I've got that one. Did that send? Yeah, I think it did. So the negative spaces are the spaces in between the item, and the positive spaces are the actual objects. Stop doing that. So we should end up with something that's quite abstract and blocky. So we're going to use, you can colour them in however you want, but the examples I've sent you are quite blocky. So yeah, I think I'm going to focus on this area here that you can see too. Yeah, okay, so we'll spend 10-15 minutes on this, because it's really, you're going to have to make a lot of decisions here, and a lot more looking than we have on the other ones. However, if you feel like, I'm finished, look from a different angle and do the drawing again, and you'll learn more stuff about it. Oh, this carousel's mean. Why did I put that there?
Anybody got a question? Everybody happy? Give us a wave if you want to.
I'm happy.
Thumbs up, everybody's good.
Yeah, I just wondered if we could show what we did in the last exercises, that we share what we do each time.
Oh yes, we didn't do that, did we? Well, very well noted. Yes. Okay. Yes, I will show mine. Our quad ones. Is that too close? That is too close. Let me move this out of the way. Oh, I love that everyone wants to say. If you don't want to, that's perfectly fine.
Oh, lovely. Lovely, Angela.
Oh, you work so small. Oh, that's such control. Oh, that bear is super cute. That is so great. Oh, you did my bird. Oh, these are lovely. These are really good. And you can tell that you all have an individual style. So even within the other styles, there's still like mirroring and stuff.
Oh, I love that Giotti.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you'll see these items around your house in a new way, because you've really been looking at them from different angles and things. Yeah, that's a good, thank you for, yeah, we forgot that. Remind me again, don't let me do that again. Okay, so we'll do 15 minutes on negative spaces. If you feel that's too long, shout up. I'm not mean, I'm very nice. Okay, I'll pop this back here. Okay, there we go. You can use multiple colours if you want to. There we go. Let's go. Oh, that's too far for me. I can't see. I can't see you people. Yeah. You can't see what I'm doing, and what I'm doing is so interesting. I'm going to do it in pen so you can see, because I don't think you can see that pencil. It's very bright in here. So I'm starting off with the curve of the cockerel, and I'm going to sort of create an invisible sort of framing for it. I haven't really got a specific plan. Just going with the flow at the moment. Okay. forgot what I'm doing. Oh yes, that's that thing. Okay. So far, this is my first negative shape, this here, which is the side of this cockerel here. So I don't know whether to like use paint maybe to block it in. I don't know. I think because I've used ink already, watercolour would just make the ink bleed, so I'd have to use acrylic or something instead. Decisions. And as your negative shapes start to form, you'll actually see it'll look a little bit more, you'll be able to see the positive shapes within that. And it's quite important that you stay in the same position as well, unless you want it to be a bit more of a mismatch. So this is what I've got so far. Very abstract at the moment. And I might block in all my colours, all my shapes with different colours. I haven't decided yet. Okay, we've got a few minutes left. If you want a little bit longer, just let me know. And the relationship of all your items together become even more important in an exercise like this, and there is a lot more looking than drawing that you have to do with this. So don't forget to give yourself a little wiggle because you've been concentrating quite a long time. Three more minutes. Oh, okay. that's our 15 minutes. Thank you very much. You're happy to, you can show your work to the rest of the group. Oh, thank you. Oh, wow. Brilliant. Lots of colour there, Henry. Oh, excellent. So I haven't even got to the stage where I've blocked in my colours yet. Very cool. They're very abstract, aren't they? Ooh, that's very cool. I like that shadow. Oh, it's so interesting. That's really good. That's really cool. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, all of you. That's brilliant. Okay, so the last activity we're going to do is going to be about contours. So I'm going to show you an example. There we go. Where is it? Oh, good. I thought I didn't have one then. I was panicked. It's fine. Don't have faith in yourself. Okay. Let's have a look. So I've sent you an image. If you can't see it on there, I can show you on my pad of eye. Very old one, so it doesn't always do what it's supposed to. Well, it hasn't done this one. Okay, I'll show you my phone. There's a contour one. Oh, this one's quite a good one. There we go. Oh, can't see. I can't see. Let's move that way. Okay. So what we're going to really do is we're going to focus on the shapes of things by using lines. So if you see on this image, where the shadows are, the lines are slightly thicker. So it's all going to be about flow and shape. So pick the item, pick one of the items from your cluster that you arranged earlier. I'm going to do this one because it's got loads of shapes in it. Ideally something curvy. But if you haven't, that's absolutely, you haven't got anything curvy, that's fine. So I'm going to put this here for you. Could be a little bit higher, that, couldn't it? Oh, I've got another book. It's cool. There we go. That's a bit better. Okay, so if you want to draw that, so you can use multiple colours if you want to, but what I would like you to do as well on your new piece of paper, or we're recycling to use the back of another piece of paper, is to, what we haven't done so far, is draw the background in as well, because often when we draw a single item, if we don't give it any shading underneath or give it some context, it can look like it's floating, and you want it to sometimes look like it's part of the world, you know, and it's got some grounding and some weight, and it gives you a bit more information about your item as well when you give it a background. It gives it a bit of a story as well, you know, so which I think is also important. Okay, so we're going to spend, oh, actually, it'll be just under 20 minutes for the end of the session, and we're going to focus on some lines. So I'll tilt my easel round so that you can see what I'm up to, and then hopefully that will help you, because this is there's a lot of planning probably involved in this technique if you haven't used it before. And I think for this object, oh no, you've got quite a bit of shadow, you can see the 3D elements of it. So I'm going to start with the, what's that thing on their head called? This red bit, that's what I'm going to call it. Okay, I'm going to do mine in pink. So if you want to draw this item, that's fine, or you can use an item that you've got at home already, but we're going to use these contour lines that I've just sent you. So for shading, a bit like with the pointillism, if you keep your lines closer together, it'll create the idea of shading. Further apart, a bit more highlights, and the weight of your line as well. So how hard you press on the paper. So I moan about this every time, but drawing sideways is difficult, so bear with me. So if you want to do outlines, that's fine as well. I think that would be quite helpful. Can you see from there? No. So with this technique, you're kind of like imagining those maps. Are they OS maps that you see when you see an area from above, and how like the closer the lines are together, the higher something is. So it's quite an unusual way of looking at the world. But this is, you know, we're experimenting. So we're focusing on line and shape here. And for me, drawing sideways. And you can experiment with the types of lines you use. They don't all have to be vertical or horizontal. To create curved shapes, you can do, no, this way, spirals. That would help. You can do quite like that. You could do quite flat spirals to create shape and shadow as well. So experiment, because it's like, that's what's brilliant about art. You cannot be wrong. Ah, don't fall off. Okay. I'll do my beak now. Green, I think. And if you want to add details, like there's a lot of spots, a bit of pointillism on my cockerel, then you can, but we're mainly focusing on shape. So I'd maybe do the shape first and then see which, if any, extra details you want to add. I haven't left enough room, so I can't put a base in. Poor planning on my part. Henry was up here. Now you're down there. Okay. If you're happy with your drawing, Henry, you could draw the same item from a different viewpoint. So you could come a bit lower, or you could draw it from above, and that will change the contour shapes even more. So have another go. We've got about another 8 minutes left. If you've finished, feel free to carry on working into something you've already done before, or just enjoy the quiet, or draw this item again using the same contour techniques from a different angle. From above is especially challenging for me, I would say. Okay, so we've got another few minutes before we show each other our work and we wrap up for the day.
When that's finished.
Okay. Thank you very much. That was great. I've actually never done that exercise before, so that was quite fun for me. I quite enjoyed the shading parts the most. I quite enjoyed I made my lines quite scratchy and close together, so I quite enjoyed that. Hopefully you guys did too. If you want to show your work, I would love to see, because I'm nosy. Oh, there's Shaned. Why do you keep moving? There we go. Oh, yeah. Ooh, I like the angle of the head looking down, Denise. Very nice. Lots of lines. Brilliant. I love it. You all interpreted the brief just a little bit different. Okay, so I'd like to say a huge thank you for attending, especially if, like where I am, it's really sunny outside and you came and sat with us and took part, and you all had really nice concentrated faces on, and you didn't pull faces at me when I made you do things that were moving or anything like that. So I really, really appreciate it. It helped my practice too. So I'm very lucky that I get to learn on the job as well as plan things like this. So I'm glad. I had a few more activities as well, but I think it's always better to be honest. So I hope you have a great day and share your work with Arts Connection.